A lot of the time, video games are meant to blow our minds with incredibly realistic graphics that immerse us and make us part of the world. But some of the stuff we enjoy the most about games is just fake and obviously fake. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on GameRanks 10 Unrealistic Things we...
Far Cry 6 was a very disappointing game. Like, it was so fucking disappointing.
We love about video games. Starting off with number 10, reviving allies with a friendly back rub. You know what sucks? Death. Do I need to explain why? Well, in real life, if someone got shot, it'd take them weeks, if not months of it.
The fuck was that ammunition?
Explain why? Well, in real life, if someone got...
Are those aren't grenades. They're way too big to be grenades. What the fuck? Fallout is insane. I really should be playing it.
Got shot.
I really should be.
It'd take them weeks, if not months, of intense
those are like
care to bring
massive
them back
holy
into
grenades,
shape.
man.
But in video games, all it takes is a little back rub and they're good to go. In reality, if a dog decides to play in traffic and finds themselves contesting the inertia of an oncoming truck, well, that's it for Rover. But in video games,
Man, we nearly drove over a dog once. We were coming back from pool night, and this dog just randomly decided... Now, it's obviously dark. It's like 11 o'clock at night. And... God! Like, it literally just decides to run across the road on a corner. My dad slammed on the brakes. Like, if I didn't have a seatbelt, I would have most likely hit my head against the windshield, right? The front window thing? Yeah, I think that's called a windshield. God, I'm dumb. But, God, it was, like, to this day, like, that is so far very, like, one of my more horrific horror moments I've had in my life. Or jump scares.
You just saunter on over, give that doggy a little healing touch, and they're back and better than ever.
Good boy.
No, he's petting the puppy.
Is there some unwritten backstory in all these games that your hero actually has mutant healing powers or something? How many corporate jobs do you think our hero has lost over sexual harassment lawsuits? I'm using my mutant superpower. I can see you're hurting. And they're like, oh my God, this guy's gotta go. The military was the only place that would take me.
Remember how you healed in like Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 2? I think it was Far Cry 4 as well, but all you had to do was literally, like, no, I played Far Cry 3 too. Shit, man. Like, you take pliers, dig it into your skin where the bullet hole was, and you just pull out the bullet. Sometimes you would just literally just pull a twig out of your hand. Sometimes you'd like pop your hand back in because it was like dislocated. Man, that was horrific ass shit.
Constant massaging of everybody in my vicinity. Everybody I could reach. Yeah, I don't think that's in the backstory. Also, like, obviously,
like that episode really creeped me out as a kid. Like, just seeing that deer, like, to this day, I won't watch that episode again because, like, from my childhood, that deer scared the shit out of me. Like, it makes me feel so uncomfortable.
It would not be as much fun in Gears of War to drag your buddy to triage every time they start bleeding out and waiting 4 to 6 weeks for them to get up and continue the level. Some games do try to justify reviving, making it more difficult by making you spend health packs to do it or something. But most of the time it's totally free and usually not all that hard to do because your main guy also has the helpful ability to get shot 100 times without dying. That alone's pretty unrealistic, obviously. But we didn't talk about that because it's not exactly something with love, more like something that's just kind of expected at this point. If you even take it further, the best allies are the ones you don't have to revive. A lot of games make it so your allies are just totally invulnerable to damage, and that's pretty handy. Logically, of course, makes no sense at all, but it's helpful to have allies you just don't worry about why they're following you, the guy.
Man, Kingdom Hearts 3, I played the shit out of that game. Like, I didn't 100% it, but God did I enjoy it. Like, it was really good in my opinion.
You can actually die is never really questioned. It's just a game mechanic. Don't think about it too hard. And number 9 is the safe room. Nothing more satisfying in a super tense horror game than finally reaching a safe room, a place where soothing music lets you know that you're 100% safe from the monsters. Usually there's some kind of save station and an item box for you to store your equipment, which are also 100% game mechanics that make no sense, but man, they are handy, are they not? What's with the item box?
I mean, they have it in movies, they have it in, like, it's all, even in real life. You get to, like, a safe room, and then all of the soldiers, like, chill out for a bit before they move on. You know, that's not unrealistic, that's perfectly normal.
Anyway, who made them? They're hard to have around, they somehow share inventory no matter what box you open. So you go to this safe.
It pisses me off.
They're hard to have around.
That they don't want to move the ammo to this slot here, and then move that over there, so that this entire bottom row is now free and, like, you have space. Like, it just pisses me off that they have an open square there and an open square here. Like, oh my god, it pisses me off.
Somehow share inventory no matter what box you open. So you go to this safe room, put a handful of, I don't know, like wing nuts, let's say, in that item box. Go to another safe room. Holy crap, there's those wing nuts. Somebody's running between these rooms faster than I am. Either that or there's some kind of magic afoot.
Okay, now I understand what he means by magic, like safe rooms now. Like the unrealistic part is that everything that you store in the one. Okay, I get it now. I'm just gonna think of it as the magic chest from Minecraft.
I don't know, I don't care a whole lot about the logistics. It'd be really annoying to just have to backtrack to get items from separate item boxes. But I mean, the thing that really makes safe rooms unrealistic is the safety element of it. Most of the time they're just regular old rooms with a box and a save point. I don't really know why they're safer than any other room. Play the Resident Evil remakes with Mr. X or Nemesis, and they can follow you pretty much everywhere, but if you run into a safe room, they're just like, well, I guess I can't go in there. I'm Mr. X. Look at my hat. What a good hat I have. I picked the right hat. I should go on dates. I'll bet a date would like this hat. That's the reason why we don't hear Mr. X's inner monologue, I guess. He doesn't have a whole lot going on.
Walking up to my date. Oh, look at that. That's horrifying. He's just staring them. He's just standing there menacingly. But seeing his face as I walk into the place to have my date would scare the shit out of me. Damn. He literally said, "What you looking at, bitch?" What the
I don't know,
fuck?
maybe it wouldn't really ruin it any more so than the fact that they can't walk into a certain room. Not exactly an unstoppable killer if, soothing music keeps the beast at bay. I don't know. No, the game is good for having them. Like, imagine a Resident Evil 2 remake without them. That'd be so rough. And number 8 is clueless guards. Sneaking can be super satisfying in video games, but for it to work at all, you gotta really suspend disbelief with a lot of these guards. Even the most observant ones in video games are pretty clueless compared to basically any random person in real life. You know how when you're asleep in bed and you just saw a horror movie or something and every tiny little sound is super obvious? Well, that's what it's like being a guard somewhere. It's dead silent for hours at a time. Anything out of the ordinary, you're gonna notice. Who's that? But these guys have to be the way that they are, otherwise stealth would be the most frustrating possible genre. In video game stealth, nobody ever just spots you immediately, even if you're a few yards away. And even though a guard...
Yeah, man, Assassin's Creed stealth, like... with like these types of like Assassin's Creed games, I was always like, man, how the hell did they not spot me? I'm wearing a bright white, unfilthy, uncamouflaged outfit in the middle of the day in green grass. How the hell are you not spotting me? All the Assassin's Creed games, you had like hay bays, what was the other ones? A whale, like holding, like hanging off of a ledge, hiding on rooftops. But no, the modern Assassin's Creed games is you hide in very visible grass, with like massive gaps, and you're just invisible. Like it baffles me.
You probably see some goober sneak walking around in the open.
But I mean, we all still enjoy it, so who the hell cares?
They don't get alerted until their detection meter fills all the way up. Like, these guards are half blind, 75% deaf and 100% dumb.
What the
In real
fuck?
life, you'd be making an unholy amount of racket, running around, climbing walls, even crouching. Like, there's stuff on the ground, or there's just the ground. Maybe it's made of cement. I don't care how light-footed you are, it's gonna make sound. But in a video game, you basically have to find like a wooden spoon and a pot and go up in their face and hit the pot with the wooden spoon repeatedly and be like, I'm here, I'm here. Anyway, when they are actually alerted, they just kind of give up after a minute or so, which is good for the player because having to wait around in a hiding spot for hours would be excruciating. But for a guard to give up a search, knowing there's an intruder that's already killed several people, that's completely insane. They do not have a survival instinct. Or perhaps they have a death wish and want to be knifed in the back. I don't know. Which is the point, obviously. Stealth is meant to be fun, not realistic. Because if it was realistic, why would you bother? And number 7 is invincibility.
I'd rather have my stealth be optional, but yes, I see his point.
Frames and mercy invincibility. Take any game with a dodge mechanic, there's likely to be a couple of invincibility frames where for a split second your character's completely invulnerable to damage.
Well needed.
Ah yes, I
Perfectly
rolled at
needed.
the correct time. That's why this huge explosion didn't hurt.
It's
Obviously
fine.
this mechanic completely, totally divorced from reality. There's
Who
a
the hell
reason
cares?
that
It's
medieval knights
needed.
weren't just all rolling around on the battlefield. And it ain't about how silly that would look. I mean, knights did some pretty silly looking crap. As a game mechanic, it's great. It rewards careful timing and makes it so the combat encounters can be faster and more dynamic, but it's about as far from realistic as a game mechanic can get. Another mechanic that's extremely handy is mercy invincibility, like when you're invulnerable to damage for a few seconds after getting hit. It's great for repositioning and giving you a fighting chance in battle, but you know the drill. Getting hit is getting hit. Shouldn't matter if you already got hit a second ago. Like, imagine all those times where, like, in a movie they put 2 bullets in a guy. That second bullet, it just like fly right through them because the person would be blinking. Also, the first bullet probably wouldn't kill him. There'd be no such thing as a make sure bullet if reality was anything like this. In a video game, though,
Sure bullet.
obviously
Oh.
it's great because it makes the game a lot more forgiving. Like, look at a game that doesn't have mercy invincibility, and that's a game that it's much more difficult and sometimes even impossible to actually learn how to play. Okay, not impossible, but like, it definitely raises the barrier for entry. And this is one of
Raises,
kind
man. You need an elevator just to get to it.
of personal preference too. I definitely enjoy
Massive
mercy
elevator.
invincibility. I think it's a good thing. I do think there's going to be people in the comments that are like, I actually don't like mercy invincibility. I like the challenge.
And those are the people that don't have fun with video games. Which is what it's meant to be.
The
Fun.
challenge makes me think harder and faster, and I learn
If
the
I,
game
wanted
better
if I wanted to think harder, I'd stay in school.
that way. I am Mr. X, and I love my hat. No. And number 6, helpful power-ups and upgrades that are just left around for you to find. Metroidvania's awesome genre, right? Fun to run around, explore a big world, uncover secrets, unlock power-ups. They're absolutely great. But wow, do they have some nonsense going on. I mean, take any random Metroid game, think about the hostile world that either has no other sentient life or has sentient life that wants you dead. And
I feel like Doom doesn't really have that problem. Because Doom, you make weapons out of the demons and stuff that you've slain. And obviously you pick up weapons from the demons that they've made, so... Yeah, I don't think Doom really has that problem.
who's leaving all these missiles and energy tanks around? Who's doing that? Some games do try to justify power-up placement with like lore and environmental storytelling, but there's so much of it, and most of the time these upgrades are tailor-made for your character and your character only. It's almost like it's a video game environment made especially for you. The placement of everything is also convenient, like the player is the main concern of the designer of the environment that you are in, because it is a game made for you to purchase and feel satisfied with the purchase. It's totally unrealistic, but that's also
It's
kind of the
fine.
central appeal of games, or really just any game where you can find upgrade.
I mean, imagine if you didn't have that, and you had to actively make every piece, do like an hour-long side quest to get the pieces, to make the piece. Like, it would be so
In the
tedious.
environment, it rewards the player for exploration and solving puzzles, which makes for a satisfying gameplay experience. In real life, Dr. Light probably wouldn't have hidden those capsules with the upgrades in them
No, you'd have to buy it for an arm and a leg.
all around
And then it still wouldn't probably work as like advertised.
the world. He probably would have buried them with X. Or maybe he would have destroyed them because he was kind of afraid of the idea that X could think for himself. Anyway, enough of that. We're getting a little too deep here. And number 5 is cosmetic slots, or transmog. Games that give you a lot of options for clothing and armor. It's great. It makes it so every piece of equipment you find actually matters, but if you want to equip all the best pieces of equipment, usually in these games you're left looking at a mismatched clown wearing a bunch of random things that don't go together at all. If you want the best armor...
Yeah, I remember the old meme where it would be the coolest looking dude with the best looking armor. You know, he has like the heavy, shiny dragoon type armor with this massive ass greatsword, you know, and he'd be like a noob at level 1, and he has the starter gear. And then the max level pro gamer would have like swimming trunks, flippers, like a pool noodle, you know, like that would be the best gear. Oh man, those memes are good back in those days. Now we just have mind-numbingly dumb. They're still funny, but they don't have the same charisma as they once had.
You really have to be a fashion victim. And yeah, a lot of gamers don't care about fashion at all, but a lot of gamers aren't birds. Put on the sunglasses and the Who song starts. No, I actually don't care a whole lot about fashion either. I will say I don't like looking like a damn fool though. So games that give you cosmetic slots, kind of the best. They don't make a lot of sense, but who cares? Somehow you're able to wear a full set of armor, and then you're able to wear another set of cosmetic armor,
I don't know what this game is. It looks
hides the original set.
Somewhat good.
Unless the game has literal magic in it, there's no way to justify this unless the cosmetic armor is like paper mache or something. I don't. But it's a quality of life feature, let's say. It used to be transmog and cosmetic slots. They were kind of reserved for MMOs, but we see it more and more in basically any game that has equipment. If a game has clothes and armor that affects your stats, there should be some kind of system like this in place, because nobody really wants to be the hobo clown. You're kind of supposed to be the ultimate badass, but if you're dressed like you're about to hop a train, it kind of kills the power fantasy. And number 4 is mid-boss saving. Originally, this point was going to be about the general ability to save and load wherever you want in games, but when it comes to saving in games, there's nothing more relieving than a good mid-boss checkpoint. If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. You're fighting a multi-stage boss that's been going on forever. You're getting through it.
This is a massive-ass spoiler for anyone that hasn't played the game yet.
By the skin of your teeth. And then at the end, they hit you with their ultimate screen-clearing attack, and you have no idea that it's coming or how to prepare for it or whatever. You let out alongside. That's an hour wasted, and you're gonna have to go grind that massive health bar again. When the game reloads, you see they only got half a health bar left. All that time wasn't wasted.
Man, Elden Ring was not that kind. Boy, Melania was a piece of work, wasn't she?
A half hour of it was wasted, but a lot of it wasn't. You're back where you left off. Well, you kind of where you left off. Listen, some games are not suited to mid-boss saves. But when you got these big cinematic encounters with QTEs cutting into the action, having to replay the entire boss isn't just tedious, it's boring because you've already seen this stuff. The logic of saving...
That's what a skip function is for.
In games is already unrealistic. So, starting the fight with Senator Armstrong halfway through, kind of even more so. But who cares? It's really a convenience that trumps realism in every possible way. I'll take a checkpoint or two. Thank you. And number 3 is the magic puzzle reset. A good puzzle can be really satisfying in a game, but if you screw it up, and it's gonna happen, these things can potentially become impossible to solve. That's when it's time to reset, either with a convenient button, an option in the menu, or leaving the screen or room and then coming back immediately. The last one's probably my favorite one. Like there's a big puzzle on the wall, you screw it up, you're like, what am I gonna do? And then you walk out of the room and you come back in, it's like, okay, I'll just start again. None of them more realistic. The button's probably the most plausible and justified in the world of the game, but even that doesn't make a lot of sense. Most of the time, these puzzles or challenges are meant to stop intruders or outwit you, so it often seems counterintuitive for them to include some way to reset the puzzle if the goal is for the puzzle to stop you. I mean, the very existence of puzzles is kind of unrealistic. How often are you solving puzzles in real life to get around? Like, when there's a lock, usually there's just a key. That's how they keep people out of places.
Or you break the lock. Now, it's a way to solve the puzzle without having to do the puzzle. It's just broken, like, then there's no point to do it.
It's not like elaborate match 3 situations. And most of the time, resetting a puzzle is purely just a game mechanic. There's not really an explanation. But it's also helpful because oftentimes getting it back to the starting state is super helpful. Like when games force you to reset these types of things yourself, which is rare nowadays, it is excruciating. Like the dirt worst possible thing. The puzzle itself probably isn't as hard as resetting the puzzle from the nonsense state you got it into. So if a game pulls that on me, I'm probably gonna shut it off. I might come back later, I might not, but I'm just like, okay.
Damn, he was struggling over there.
And number 2 is infinite carrying capacity. How much do you normally carry?
I wish more games did this. The fact that I don't have to look and do inventory management, fucking godsend. Why games still have it? I don't know. I wish more games would have infinite inventory. Like that would be very kind of them. So I don't have to make sure or sell any of my gear. I am a hoarder. Let me hoard, you pieces of shit.
Around in real life. For most people, it's a wallet, maybe a purse, card keys, a phone. That's about it. Like there are people that look.
I mean, I'm playing Elder Scrolls Online, and I activated the free Elder Scrolls Online Plus membership that you get, and it unlocks the crafting bag, which frees up so much space in your normal inventory because all of the crafting ingredients automatically go over to the crafting bag. And the crafting bag, as far as I know, has infinite amount of space. As far as I know, I could be very wrong. I won't be using it anymore because I'm trying to do like free-to-play sessions, so yeah, so I'm gonna be struggling, and I don't know how much bag space you can actually buy, like inventory space you can buy. But at the moment, I'm sitting at 90, and it costs 6,500 gold to level it up just to get 10 more bag space. And I mean, you got a bank, so that's not the end of the world. Like you can go and store some stuff in there, like your crafting materials. So at the end of the day, yes, you got a bank, but you still got to pay gold to increase that. And I'm pretty sure there's a limit on how big you can make your bag and bank space. So yes, pisses me off. I wish more games would have infinite amount of space. So that way I don't have to worry and do inventory management. Like, it's a piece of shit. I hate it. I hope it dies. But it's not going to because developers want you to suffer.
At cargo panes and say, why so many pockets? Quick counterpoint, Napoleon.
People that have cargo pants fill up every single one of those pockets with something useful. Or maybe you just make sure you have lots of snacks in there, like your M&Ms, your those types of shit. Because that would be really fucking useful. You may hear a sound or two now and then, but I mean nobody's gonna care.
And Dynamite had it figured out. It's tater tots. The pockets exist for tater tots. But in video games, it's a whole different ball game. You're carrying around dozens of weapons, multiple full sets of armor, thousands of crafting resources, and hundreds of thousands of gold pieces. In reality, somebody wouldn't be able to carry even a small fraction of the amount of stuff you haul around in these games.
Yes, but in like real life, most people are not surviving an apocalypse. So, yeah, so where's the realism?
And man, it's great. Think about how miserable it would be if encumbrance actually worked like it does in real life. People complain about inventory management in survival games as it is now, but think about how bad it would be if they were actually realistic. 90%.
I hope inventory management dies. I really do. Especially in MMOs, where you have so much to carry around.
Of the game would just be moving things around from one place to another. Like, it'd be
Because
miserable.
I don't want to have to go constantly backtracking or wasting gold, because most MMOs cost gold to travel around. You're more like traditional MMOs, I mean. So it costs gold to travel back to the place with the bank, back to the place with the merchant to sell everything. Man, it's just annoying.
So, of course, games will give you some help. Almost every video game protagonist manages to be unrealistic in some way. Even in something like Call of Duty, where you can only carry 2 guns, you still have, like, the ability to carry dozens of extra clips that are instantly accessed. Games with strict inventory limits, and the ones that make you play inventory Tetris, basically. They're more restrictive, but there's still way more stuff than one person could ever carry. And either way, the amount of stuff you've actually got is never realistically depicted. Like, the Doom guy would just be a pile of straps and guns. Where does he keep the arsenal anyway? Also, don't answer that in the comments. I don't want to hear your smart aleck
Up his ass.
answers about him keeping that stuff in places. I know, maybe I do. We all like a good laugh. And finally,
if you can fit like 2 raccoons up your ass, you can fit a lot of stuff up there.
at number 1, fast travel. Like, you knew this one, right? Absolutely. It seems like the most obvious possible one, but at the same time, it's 100% number 1 on any list. It's one of the most basic features in games, too. And when it's proper...
Would you rather spend hours running to your destination, back and forth? I mean, I think that's one of the main reasons why people did not enjoy New World. Like, obviously, there was lots of positives about it, but there was a lot more negatives about it. And one of the negatives I heard a lot when the game came out was there's no fast travel. I have to spend 30 minutes running from one destination to the other destination, and then I have to run back because the dumbass told me I have to go back, so now I have to go back. They added mounts, fabulous, or they had mounts. I don't know if they added mounts or they had mounts. But either way, running back and forth, and each back and forth takes 30 minutes. For most people that only have like an hour and a half to 2 hours to play, yeah man, that is dumb. Not being able to fast travel is dumb. Really, it's very dumb.
Properly implemented, it's super satisfying. Travel, just not fun in real life, and, well, I don't really want the game equivalent of an 11-hour car ride to Grandma's house. So video game fast travel lets you skip all those boring bits and just get to the good stuff. Sometimes it's justified in the game, like implying that the characters did travel to whatever spot you want to go to, and just kind of skipping all of the boring stuff, like fading out and coming back and be like, oh, what a journey that was. Yeah, getting across that chasm sure was tough. They don't do that. It's good that they don't do that. But, I mean, most of the time they don't even go far enough to explain it at all, though. I don't really need an explanation.
God of War, I think, is different because it really is just magic, so... yeah, I think God of War has an excuse.
Just give me the ability to go somewhere I want in a map, and I'm good. Final Fantasy 16 is especially good about this. It's as easy as opening up the map, selecting location, and that's that. There's fast travel points everywhere, so you're never far from your destination. So there's barely any backtrack.
And that's why the game is so fucking good. Like, the only bad thing I've heard about the game so far is that the beginning, midway story, excellent, fabulous, couldn't be better. Towards the end, it kind of falls off. But that's the only big complaint I've heard about the game. I know there is people that are like, oh, the game's too easy. Oh, the game's too hard. The developers put a story mode in and a normal mode in. And once you beat the game, there's a Final Fantasy mode. If you think it's too hard, play the easy mode. If you think it's too easy, play the normal mode, and if you think that's too easy, finish the game and play the hard mode. Or, don't equip any of the good items the developers left you with increased XP, increased SP gain or ability points gain, unequip the automatic dodge, unequip the complete combo thing so you get to figure out how to do the combo yourself. There's lots of ways to make the game easy, and there's lots of ways to make the game a lot harder for yourself. Don't do any of the side quests, because the side quests give a hell of a lot of extra XP, gold, and I'm not just including I'm not just talking about the side quest. I'm talking about the hunts. I'm talking about the whisper thing. Ignore all of that and just play the game, just the story part, and tell me how easy the game is then. Because I've watched 2 people now that have played the game just the story, has collected just the stuff along the way, and he's now reaching the end game, like the end of the story, and he is struggling his ass off now. He was doing very well. He was using like lots of the good skills, but oh my god, the amount of difference that I saw in that second person I watched is phenomenal. Second person did all of the side quests, did all of the hunts up to where he could, got all of the whisper things, and he's flying through the enemies, man. Obviously, the hunts was like a battle here or there, but especially the level difference. The person that just went through the story is now like level 39, 40, and the person that did all of the side quests and hunts is now roughly level 46, 47 at the exact same moment. Like, the side quest and the hunts make a massive fucking difference. It really does.
The game's very big too, so it's good. There's no explanation in the story. It's always shown that...
And besides, Final Fantasy has an excuse. It has magic. Why? How? Mother Crystal's magic. Granted, you could say then that once you destroy the Mother Crystals, sorry, this is a spoiler. Once you destroy the Mother Crystals, then you can then the teleportation stops. But people would not like that idea. So why? Magic. Fuck off.
You're kind of traveling back and forth is arduous. It's not really seen as like a good normal thing. So either it's actually really easy to get around, or there's literally years worth of traveling around we just don't see. And I don't care. Like in The Witcher 3, they make a big deal about how hard it is to get to Skeleton, but once you get a fast travel point there, Geralt can go back and forth like it's nothing. It's contradictory to the story, but I do not care. Big deal. I did it the hard way once. If I want to do it the hard way again, sure, I'll do it again. But I don't. Quick bonus point to you. It's another real obvious one. Double jumps and air dashes. Jumping in games doesn't make any sense. Michael Jordan, who is widely known as a great basketball player with big ups, he'd be like, what is going on here if he saw that in real life? I don't get this.
Again, do not give a damn. I don't see a problem with it. I don't care if it's unrealistic. I prefer games having a double jump. Honestly, I do.
That's my very accurate Michael Jordan impression. Huh? What's that? How's he jumping?
For the main reason that when I play a game, it's supposed to be a new experience. It's supposed to be breaking, like, the reality around me. So I'd rather have a lot more fantasy type elements in my game. Because that's why I want to play the game. I want to play Star Wars because I want to be a Jedi. I want to be able to shoot lightning from my hands, and I want to be able to double jump. Piss off, leave me alone.
Like that. That's so weird, man. It's so weird. Have you ever seen Space Jam? He sounds just like that. The first Space Jam. Some games try to justify with like jet boots or something, but mostly it's just a thing you can do because you can. It's a game. Who cares? I don't need an explanation. I'm not Michael Jordan. Somebody explain.
I think Flappy Bird has an excuse. You're a bird, so you can.
Double jumps to him, though. He seems to really care. One last one, though. Wall meat. You know you can whip a wall in Castlevania, and it'll break away and reveal a delicious, fully cooked piece of meat. It's not just edible either, it fully restores your health. Convenient, right? Nothing makes sense there. It's not just like chickens and walls I'm talking about here either. I mean in any game where they give you helpful equipment in places that don't make sense, like health packs and ammo pickups lying around in ancient undiscovered tombs.
Now, are you
Yeah,
really going to
proportions
complain
aren't
about
the
that?
only unrealistic thing about Tomb Raider. Old Tomb Raider. I mean, the new one kind of looks like just a regular old hot lady. But why are there guns lying around all over the place in Shambhala? How come all of the guns in the areas that I am trekking through in Doom are not used by the guys in Doom, the Doom guys? There's a gun here. Why didn't the guy that wants me dead pick that up and use it on me? I don't know. Obviously, it's because it's a video game and you need health and ammo. If they're realistic, I don't even know if you would be exploring ancient.
But Doom isn't realistic, so why are you complaining? You're fighting demons. Would you rather fight them with your bare hands? I don't think I'd want that. Like, that would be a lot more unrealistic than having a gun. So, yeah, no, I'd take the
blowing
gun.
away demons, because A, demons aren't real, and B, ancient tombs probably are nothing like they are in Tomb Raider. They're probably kind of just rooms with a dead guy, or like a filled-in hole in the ground with a dead guy. So yeah, it doesn't matter that none of this makes any sense. It's a game. It's supposed to be fun. And that's all for today. Leave us a comment, let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now is a good time to do so. We have
So, I think that the main thing, well, all of the things he's like said now, is all of the stuff that makes a game convenient is so unrealistic. And I mean, yes, it does make the game very unrealistic, but I mean, it's why we play fucking games. We want the unrealistic aspects of it, man. So, I'll let this finish off, and then I'm gonna end it, so I hope you guys enjoyed.
upload brand new videos every day of the week. The best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications, and as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter, Falcon Hero. We'll see you next time, right here on Game Ranks.